Good morning and aloha. Welcome to another Aloha Friday. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know I really appreciated the family, the food, and the football. Would have really appreciated a different outcome to the Ohio State football game, but at least Center Grove football. Um, the high school football team won state, and I was really happy for many of my former students with that victory. It was also a great opportunity to spend time with family. You know, I come from a very diverse family background. I have family who are Black, Native American, Colombian, Hungarian, German. The Peterson are actually Scandinavian, and so it was a great opportunity to sit down with family, get different perspective on things. I have family who received their career training through the military. I have family who went to trade school and community colleges, as well as kind of that more traditional college pathway. And so it was really interesting to sit down and talk with many of my family members about their perspective on where we are currently at in education and those kinds of things. um, and so as we start to kind of move into the second semester, we're going to start planning a lot of their students high school schedules and things like that. And so um, I encourage you as a parent to consider some of these alternative pathways to careers. There are some great opportunities at C9, which is the Center Grove Career Center, and look at those types of things as the cost of traditional colleges continues to go up and becomes more difficult for many families. Uh, we are also had a conversation with my family about employability skills and those kinds of things. And I think it's interesting to note that that is something that we really focus on a lot here at Center Grove Middle School North. Are those employability skills? They're not done in the traditional classroom. We do those through Connect, and they actually come from the Indiana Department of Education, those employability skills. So if you would like to know more about those or learn more about those, I'll put a link in here to this page, and you can just kind of scroll down and go to the middle school employability section to see what those actually are. And the way we kind of bring those into our Connect classes is through the character ed that is done throughout Center Grove. And so I'll also put a link to the Center Grove character education goals that we have for every month. So, for example, we just recently did the um, uh, cooperation lesson and are preparing for leadership and caring lessons, as well as those are done in our Connect classes, not necessarily in the core classes of our instruction. So it's important that you as parents are aware of those types of lessons that are being done as well. As far as in science this week we are finishing up chemical reactions. We did a lab this week, and we'll be doing another lab next week. NWEA testing kind of threw a wrench in there as far as what we were able to do in our sequence, but we adapted and kind of rolled with it. And so that lesson will finish up next week, and I'll have a study guide available on Monday. Uh, we will probably take the notebook quiz on Thursday. So remember, this might be a great weekend again to kind of review with students their science notebooks, as they can use those science notebooks on the test. As far as honors biology, we are finishing up with DNA to protein synthesis. So before break, we had done all the DNA stuff. This week we went into RNA and how that RNA then is the code that's used for the building of proteins. Um, the last few days, we've talked about mutations and different types of mutations and those effect on the resulting proteins. We'll be taking that test probably on Wednesday of next week. And then we're going to start really gearing up for semester finals in both science and in biology. In science, it's just kind of a chemistry final. So the last three ELs with regard to chemistry. So that would be atomic structure, that would be trends of the periodic table, and chemical reactions. In biology, it's a little bit different. So in biology, I am coordinating with both Middle School Central and the high school as far as the development of that semester final. Now, that semester final is about 100 questions. So it will likely have to be bridged over two different class periods because of the nature of that test. At the high school, they do blocks, and so it's a little easier for them to implement such a thing. And because this is a high school class taught at middle school, we have to make sure we're aligned with the expectations and standards that are put forth by the high school. So I'm still in communication with the high school and middle school central as far as what that's going to look like at middle school north. I will definitely have more information on that by the end of next week. And so I'll try to share that in next week's weekly wrap up. So, again, thank you so much for all you do as parents and caregivers, for the learning that takes place, to support the learning that takes place in my classroom. I definitely could not do it without your support. Have a great week.